Very fairly priced too.
I did not put your chair down.
Well, George always does. Or just gives me the low one.
And we always think it's fun.
I'm waiting to like forget one time and just sit down expecting it to be up higher and then feel
We
like
do it to Jeremiah, his knees would hit.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board had an executive session for about an hour to discuss some personnel. Do we have any citizens' comments to the board on the agenda items? Any online?
No current comments online.
Welcome, Bob. Thank you for being here this evening. We will have one person from the Green Strategy Foundation attending as many meetings as you have done.
Yes, we're all sold out for the whole calendar year.
Nice. Hot tickets.
You guys are filling any gaps, so.
Yeah. Scalpers in the best of it.
All right, so the next item is the investment status. John, can you remind us?
Absolutely, I'll share my screen here. So you'll see on our board docs here that we have a lot of numbers. And this is our annual review of our bank accounts and the balances and the earnings thereof. And the only thing that I'd really like to draw your attention to is that, as many of you are aware, in the June, July, and August of 2022 timeframe, the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates. And so consequently, our interest rates on our bank accounts started to go up. And as you can see, our investment accounts with PSLAF, the Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund, they had some pretty good rates here. So that you can see that we kept most of our deposits through the end of the year with them where we were earning the most money. And then down on the second page, you'll see our food service funds as well as our student activity funds as well. So again, rising interest rates have benefited us with a little bit of extra cash during the latter half of 2022.
Thank you, John. How often can we see those rates of return? Is it only monthly or can we check it weekly? Because we do have the opportunity to move money around.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. No. And right now the interest rates in the liquid asset fund are just so much better than what we can get on our checking account. I'm trying to keep as much money there as possible. Only moving money to our checking account to keep it within a certain cash flow requirements. So I do keep an eye on it on a regular basis. And you will see on the treasurer's report each month the balances that are there along with the current interest that's being paid on that account. That's also available in board docs each month.
All right. Would you like to tell us about any questions for John or summer projects?
How's everybody doing?
I'm super. That's awesome.
You guys should have in front of you or on your pads or somewhere the list of summer projects that Dr. Fairchild forwarded to you. This is a list of the planned projects that we have for the upcoming summer of 2023. The only one, as of right now, that has not been approved by the board is the painting, which is on tonight's agenda session. Just to kind of explain overall, I have been coordinating with all the contractors since you guys have approved everything in order to make sure that we can try to cover everything in the buildings, get everything completed before the next school year starts, and also looking to make sure that we can get facilities in the buildings. And also coordinate if you choose to approve the painting quotes, get the painters in as well. So a lot of projects going on in most of the buildings, just trying to keep everything coordinated and make sure that we get everybody in, everybody out before the start of the school year. So it's a lot to do, but we need to get it all done. And then bottom of the list are are a few things that between myself, Dr. Fairchild, and Ms. Moser have discussed. I'm trying to bring to your attention at some point, because it's something that we feel needs to be done, or in the case of like the wheelchair lifts, they're getting to a point where they're aging out. Our parts are getting harder to find, to repair them, even with the annual maintenance that we do. So along with a lot of the equipment that we've asked you to replace in the past, we're just trying to get new equipment to stay more right to show this. That is pretty much it on my end, unless you guys have any questions about anything. So mainly it's the door in the high school, the hallways, is the door in the high school, which are
Right, it's like a mixture, it's similar to what's actually in the hallway floors of the middle school.
It's not, but it's not cement based, it's another base. If you guys have been in the building, which I'm sure you have, by the cafeteria and the athletic director's office, there is a section of travel that is fine. And what has caused that is we don't have enough expansion joints, so as it swells in the winter, freezes, it pushes that up, so I want to look at getting that. Getting another expansion joint cut in right there, and then getting it addressed so we can get it back level, so it eliminates any treatment.
It's not really a problem with trousers or one of the
Yeah, so it's, it's really long. Well, the terrazzo is moving itself, and it's what it's done is it's just pushing, there's pressure, there's not an expansion joint there to help relieve some of that pressure, so the pressure there pushes up.
Yeah, the terrazzo is fine, I understand that's exactly what you talked about, I figured it was an extension of issue. You can also cut and break, right, you can put you don't have to put the terrazzo back. How big is the part that you cut?
It's just a matter of, I think, depending on what size they determine the expansion joint needs to be, it's only about, between half an inch to like an inch and a half that you need to actually cut out to get everything, but the terrazzo itself would have to be replaced if it can't be put back in. We had a similar issue a few years ago down by the tech lab in the wood shop area where we had to do the same thing. We had to add an expansion to it. Right when the building first opened, we had the same sort of issue. So it's just popping up over here, unfortunately. Right.
I mean, when the engineers designed the building, they place expansion joints throughout the building because they're guessing where expansion is going to take place. And for the most part, they get it right, but occasionally there are one or two places in the building where they, didn't anticipate it. So.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so, our first action item this evening is regarding the summer building painting proposal. This is, Mr. George, you want to add any comments to this?
Yes, we've seen this proposal, we watched it, we reviewed it last time. It is a proposal to repaint the entirety of the inside of Kelly Elementary and Lintown schools, as well as the downstairs multi-purpose sport room at the middle school. Kelly and Lintown have not been painted in over 30 years, and so we figured it's time for a fresh coat of paint. And we would ask that you approve that this evening so we can get that scheduled for this summer, so when the kids and teachers come back in the fall, they will have freshly painted rooms and hallways.
And we already have the capital budget.
Yes,
Tag
absolutely.
on to that is that it is indeed capital funds,
In the budget.
project funds already there.
Yes.
And we will if we can, because of this.
Yes.
So we have a motion to approve. Any further discussion?
I just want to remind you again, I mean, I think a lot of times when you look at this price tag, and people think, well, you're just talking, you're not doing that. It's a lot involved. Protecting what doesn't get painted, to removing old paint, to scraping areas, to filling things in, and painting, and however many times that takes, how many layers, and then actually having to go back through and do all the cleaning that goes with that. It's just a really expensive job. Anybody who's ever had even a floor of their house and pulled away by the price. So I think as much as they hate to do it, it doesn't help a lot of it, and it's way past time. It's a good decision now.
Mrs. Kraft?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Ms. Sealy?
Yes.
Dr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Dr. Dillon? Yes.
year, we signed an agreement with Lewisburg University, and that particular agreement guaranteed acceptance, college acceptance to students who were participating in what at that time was called their ACE program. Not only college acceptance for them to matriculate to undergraduate school at Lewisburg, but then also some merit-based scholarship opportunities that some of our graduating seniors this year are very excited and looking forward to as they would begin the next chapter of their lives after graduation. What's in this agreement opens up the opportunity for what had been called ACE, that now is being called early college. And to remind everyone, as you have already looked at it, it's now Lewisburg University, Lock Haven University, and Mansfield University. It expands the three sets of college programs and courses that our students can take advantage of. It further expands their opportunities to decide how they want to learn. They can travel to Bloom and take on campus courses. They can study online with courses from any of the three universities, or even fashion a hybrid program where they might take one in person and do a second or a third one in a virtual fashion. So it really broadens the opportunities for them. I will also add that under a piece of legislation passed that we in the business of education know as Act 55, Act 55 passed through Pennsylvania legislation requires all Pennsylvania school districts to now have at least one formal dual enrollment agreement in place. This will actually add to our options for our students as we have good working relationships that afford Bucknell classes for some of our students, or Susquehanna classes for some of our students during their senior year. So again, it really opens up more opportunity, and the students will earn both their high school graduation requirement courses in their senior year, and of course, acquire those first college course credits as they would begin their undergraduate experiences as well. There is reduced tuition rate involved, as that's always an opportunity for families to take advantage of the affordability of studying this way, and it really does open up some senior year options and alternatives for our students. So that's the gist of what's in this particular memorandum that we asked the board to approve this evening.
Thank you for the thorough description, because this is a really fantastic opportunity. So your motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Price, second by Ms. Sarah.
This is an amazing program and a great opportunity, but one of the concerns that I always have is that it's very difficult for students and their families to understand the landscape of financial aid. And I think that there are some people who are very attracted to this because of the reduced tuition, who, when they apply, when they go to college, would qualify for full aid. And I just want to know that when the students are making this decision, they are also being given information about how financial aid works. Because for some families, this may not in fact be this financial aid. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're gonna not have to pay tuition at all, paying reduced tuition is still gonna cost them something. Well, they're still increasing.
Because often transfer students don't get the full financial package of what they wish to do.
No, if they just read it to take they're doing it because they think they're gonna graduate in 3 years, and they are, but they're essentially paying for that first year, even though it's a very reduced rate. Whereas if they waited and qualified for full financial aid, they wouldn't pay for those courses at all.
I think the rate here is 115 per credit or something like that, right? So significant.
It is significantly reduced, and maybe for most people that is an amazing deal. I mean, that's an amazing deal for many, many people, certainly. But I just think that they're making decisions they may not yet understand that they would qualify for very good financial aid, and that should be information that they have when they make this choice.
Do we do that kind of counseling?
Presentation and financial
And
aid.
FAFSA and different things, it's typically for, that's typically for our seniors, but we can definitely, open that up to juniors, families. Dr. Zach and the counselors definitely touch upon that when they do the ACE presentation in the spring each year, but and I will say, certainly the reduced tuition is one aspect, but a lot of it is just the flexibility, the opportunities, the fact they're able to get that head start. A lot of kids are just ready to transition at that point, and still be able to do high school course or band and athletics and different extracurriculars, kind of the best of both worlds. But we can absolutely make a point of putting more information in on that.
When I talk to students about accelerating college, I think about the opportunity cost of being able to work 1 year in something that can done. But yeah, we'll go together with the budget to get some information. Any other comments or questions about this?
Ms. Lawrence?
Yes.
Ms. Staley?
Yes.
Dr. Tippett-Sarah?
Yes.
Dr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Fetzer?
Yes.
Ms. Needham? Dr. Twomsky? Mrs. Gross?
Yes. Motion approved. All right, the next item on new business is the FNP administrative compensation agreement. This was a conversation that happened between the administrators and subcommittee of the board. So, move on to discuss. Second by Ms. Lyon. Any discussion?
Ms. Staley?
Yes.
Dr. Tippett-Sarah?
Yes.
Dr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Fetzer?
Yes.
Ms. Needham? Yes. Mrs. Gross?
Yes.
Ms. Lawrence?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next board information item.
Okay, so to provide the board an update regarding our greenhouse, as you are aware, we went out to bid for our the installation of our greenhouse. We had a split contract, a general contractor, and an electrical contractor. And after many companies had expressed interest and downloaded documents through PenBid, we received back one general contractor bid and one electrical contractor bid, which unfortunately, a couple days later, the general contractor realized they had made a mistake in their calculations and they withdrew their bid. So right now, we do not actually have any general contractor bids to vote on this evening. So we changed this to an information item to let the board know that we will be going back out to bid, and hopefully second time's a charm, and we'll get some more interest from some folks to give us some bids for the general contractor to install our greenhouse.
Thank you, Charlie. Does anybody have any questions for John about this? We'll just keep our fingers crossed for you. I'm going to cede my board president's report time to Mrs. Moser because I understand she has a lot of dates. It's a busy spring.
It's a busy spring. I have the following to share with you this evening. We enjoyed our spring break long weekend and have come back to school with the warmer temperatures and the early appreciation for our climate-controlled buildings. We learned through the winter how our systems had to be adjusted and balanced for heat, and I am sure we're experiencing that same adjusting process to address our cooling needs this week. The business of school business picks up as soon as we return to school, and we received both Dr. Fairchild's report tonight on our investments and Mr. Gallegos' report on the summer maintenance projects. Our staff and contractors will be very busy accomplishing many of the projects outlined in Delbert's report. Many of those items listed allow us to repair and maintain our existing facilities, while others on the list address our continued vigilance to safety measures. And I want to make one other reference to school safety this evening. We will be holding a spring Safe Schools Council meeting this next week on April 20. Mr. Long's leadership, taking us in that direction, will be bringing our administrators and staff, as well as county, local, and state police authorities and emergency management people together. When we're together, we review some of our current procedures. We receive guidance provided by our valued partners in our school safety effort, and we'll be discussing certainly some of the challenges that all schools have been facing in our ongoing work with school safety. We recently met with coaches and members of the Green Dragon Foundation Board and shared some of our district planning information for ongoing maintenance of our existing facilities and fields, as well as updates on our newest shared project known as the Dragon's Den. This evening, board members were able to walk outside and see the proposed site for the den, which will house both restrooms and concessions venues. Again, my thanks to Delbert and the maintenance staff for their assistance in marking the site for board members to see. And we look forward to meeting with the architects this month to work towards the design drawings for the Dragon's Den. I also want to thank the board, Delbert and John, for the step taken this evening to place the summer painting project in motion. Our oldest buildings were last painted in 1993, as we admired this evening, and we look forward to the project that results in renewed and refreshed hallways and classrooms in our 2 elementary buildings. We now want to work to do the hard work of coordinating the paint schedule with the summer cleaning schedule and the maintenance project schedule. Delbert will be at the planning phase tomorrow morning, I'm sure. We'll continue to be busy here in our spring and summer seasons. Spring sports are well underway across the district, and teams are practicing and playing daily. I've had the opportunity to see and enjoy games, meets, and matches, and we wish them continued success. Spring music concerts have been underway as well and are always enjoyed by all. I think my favorite part of seeing our students compete and perform is the enjoyment they exhibit while playing and singing. They truly are excited, and they show their enthusiasm for their chosen activities. I'll also take this moment to remind everyone that the District Art Show is another annual rite of spring, May 10 through 12, and will be featuring all our aspiring artists. 2 final things to note this evening. On a positive, today we had our semi-annual food safety inspection of our 4 cafeterias. It's never known when the inspector will arrive, and it creates some anticipation anxiety for our staff, but I'm happy to share with you that we passed our inspections with no reported violations. Mr. Jones and his staff are certainly commended for their good work and diligent service to our students and staff. And finally, another rite of passage comes each spring in our school year, and that would be the annual state testing. In grades 3 through 8, known as the PSSA tests, and then the Keystone subject-specific tests associated with algebra, biology, and literature. At all 4 buildings, our administrators and faculty are working with review content and the logistics of scheduling test sessions, and even the yearly proctoring requirements that must be in place in order for us to administer the tests. Testing will begin on April 24, and Keystone testing concludes in mid-May. Thank you.
So I want to highlight 2 things that you said. Good thing they are Michigan. How's it going?
Hiccups here and there, but overall, it's been pretty good.
I'd like to ask the principals who are in buildings that would have otherwise been quite uncomfortable. How's it going?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, but hiccups, I mean, they're the hiccups, and figuring out just what controls, filters, what it may be, but it's sporadic. It's not throughout the entire building. It's just here and there. But yeah.
Make it 90 tomorrow, in April, so the kids at least will be doing the art show, usually what we do is we try to have the board meeting on that day, a little bit early, and are there any board members who I know that I love
Idea is this next week and the alumni board tonight. Since we it's not.
on to the consent agenda. Does anyone need anything to help out?
There are no online comments.
Well, Bob, since you sat through it, is there anything you want to share with us?
Do we have a sense of, it's very interesting, the green situation. Do we have a sense, John, of when it will go back out to bid?
I will be in touch with the engineers tomorrow to say, get it out there as quickly as we can.
Is the original contractor who they are staying in the through?
Yeah, we can discuss that in the public meeting, but we can follow later. Maybe just have a
Yes. We'll circle back.
I didn't even finish the question, you knew what I was gonna ask, that's amazing. Okay, that's it, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Director Tillman,
their chance to finally be outside, because I know that first week, that season, I walked my dog around, and I'm like, woo, I don't know how they're wearing shorts, but flowers. I'm happy that it's hot now, but.
No dragons.
I don't really have anything except for I believe the boys tennis team, which I think is pretty neat, so without really.
very efficient, and it's a beautiful day. Let's get outside all the time. Yeah, all right. With that, let's have fun and everything. And make you feel good. And look at everyone, Sarah. Have a nice time.
All right.